Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. MrRecon here. We have another video for you guys of Girls X Battle 2. So, we're going to be covering the adjustments that they just did. Also, no webcam on the video because if I put a webcam, it will block some of the wording, and I want you to be able to follow along as we're going through this. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It's free. Your support is really appreciated to help grow the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment down below what you think about these adjustments. Also, just a question in general about the game. And there's a link to my Discord down below if you want to join that to get help in the game as well. Lots of people are willing to answer questions there, as well as the official Discord. People are willing to help there as well in the correct channels, I should say. You should post in the correct channels. Make sure you do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started right here. We'll start off with Trinity. This is to her elite skills. It's a new effect on the elite skills. So, reduces their attack by 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. It's just, we'll cover the 10 part because it's the elite 5. For 2 rounds when enemy is afflicted with bleed. By bleed, sorry. This still doesn't really help her make her viable at all, honestly. She just has she needs a rework completely. All they do keep doing to Trinity is just like trying to upgrade her thing a little bit and then just add extra stuff to it. Like little fluff and thinking it will make her useful. It's just not. I mean, PvE maybe wise, this might be somewhat helpful, but I still don't see really how useful this is. This is just kind of, I don't know, seems kind of pointless, but we'll see. I know some people on my guild that have Trinity for PvE content, so this might be interesting to see, but otherwise than that, it's pretty useless in PvP still. All right, so next up we have Jonah. It's going to be Oath of the Peach skill, elite skill level 5. This is what we're talking about. So it's on level 5. So you have to get to 5 for this to work on Oath of Peach. When all allies, including Jonah's active skill or basic attack, is activated. Sorry, yawn. This is regarding her pings. So she'll now follow up on herself. So whenever she attacks, she'll also ping, which is great. This is how she's originally was supposed to work. So you have to get the Oath Peach at 5. That way you can it follows up pings better. So she's more effective now, essentially. So that makes her better. Don't know how well she's going to be in the meta overall, but that makes her be able to use maybe, depending on your server, just makes her more viable. More damage, essentially. It's great. Next up, we have Sky. Pressure Control, Elite Skills level 1 through 5. So we have the buff and a new effect. So the buff will be on the precision increase at the end of a round. Each round increases by... Instead of, we're just going to cover the 5. It was 10% before, now it's 15%. So that's great. So it goes up by 3%. This 3% increments instead of 2% increments. Increases duration, reduced from 6 rounds to 4 rounds. So instead of 6 round durations of them, it's 4 rounds. So you could have 4 or 5 stacks at one time after 4 rounds. At the end of round increased. So maybe only a sec, maybe it makes from a 4, so that's 4. Precision is what? 4 times 15 is 60% increase. And I don't know the math on that to converting precision into attack, but it won't be 60% attack though. It'll be something else. But I guess that's okay. I still don't understand why it should just be attack instead of precision to make her useful. Then she'd be really useful, honestly. If that said attack increase by 15% and then a round and we'd have 30% by 2 rounds, that would be huge, actually. That would be so viable and people would be running Sky at that point. Because that's a nice, huge 30% attack buff. That would actually make her useful. This doesn't really. And then, of course, at the end of each round, increase HP received when healed by 6% for 4 rounds. So that's good. It helps her heal so she stays alive more. Not that she needs it. She's really tanky anyways, but what is what it is. All right, next up, Von Helsing, the buff. Maximum stack increases from 6 stacks to 8. That should be on 100 mark. That's great. That's good. Hunter's Weapon, new effect. Effect bleed to enemy with lockdown for 3 rounds. Deals 80% of attack each round. I don't know if this triggers every round. That's a good something to test out. I didn't really test that out. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's still nice. Gives a little bleed to it on there. Next up, Prey, a new effect. At the end of each round, stack 200 mark to the locked on targets. That's great. So end of a round, we get 200 marks. Because this, like, really, Von Helsing's been really bad because of Apate's in the meta, and it always targets Apate usually, and it just doesn't get any damage, essentially. It is what it is. All right, next up we have limit breaks. They had potentials on the 5 on the last limit break 5. They changed them. I don't know if we really like these or not, but it is what it is. Alright, yawns today. When basic attack or active skill does not crit, does 30% extra damage will be dealt. When a basic attack or active skill triggers a crit, can heal self for 50% of damage dealt. So that's the before. Now the after is deal 100% of attack extra damage to targets of each active skill or basic attack and inflicts a random DOT bleed, poison burn that causes 100% of attack damage for 2 rounds. Now, good and bad about this, right? So if you're running an Estel team without a Blair, this can be helpful, right? To help get extra damage putting DOT on. If you have a Blair, it hurts you because instead of replicating Blair's DOT, you might be replicating this. Because you just want to replicate Blair's DOT, essentially. So, with that being said, if you have Estel with Blair, it's probably not good to use. If you don't have Blair and you're running Estels, this is going to be great for you, in all honesty. Let's be real. This could be huge, but it also could be a negative effect as well, depending on what's the word? Whatever girls you have that are doing DOT damage, and maybe you want to replicate them instead. So be careful on that. It's good testing to do, but make sure you test first before you go further. Like if Sky Island comes back around, which it should, I think it should be 2-week intervals, but discussion for a different day. Test first before you do your actual battles to see if it helps out at all. That's what I'm going to try to test it, but I'm probably not going to use it though. Okay, next potential willpower is going to be can be triggered one time each round after getting attacked. If HP is above 50%, deal 4% of maximum HP damage to the attacker. If HP is below 50%, heal self for 4% of maximum HP. Now it is heal self for 4% of maximum HP. When taking damage from any source, this effect can only be triggered for at most 3 times per round. This is better, honestly, I think, than the other one, but it's still not that good. Maybe if it had 10% of maximum HP healed and it triggered 3 times, maybe this would be great. But shields is still better, even though they nerf shields from 4 to 3. I don't know why they did that. They should have just left it alone. It's just silly, stupid stuff they do. I don't understand. But I guess maybe it's to help the tanky meta, but it is what it is. Meta's probably going to change. With Cassie coming out, by the way. Warrior Suit, Perseverance. New effect, increase owner's crit resistance by 10, 20, 30. So this doesn't change what already was on there for crit. Reduction in crit chance. Or reduction in crit. I think that's what it was. So reduce the crit. How much you would take from a crit. This just adds on crit resistance as well. So this makes it even better. So Perseverance just becomes even better. So you can reduce the chance of you getting critted and reduce the amount of damage you get when you get hit by a crit. So that's just great all around, right? That's just awesome. That's actually really good for warriors. So if we ever get a good warrior in the future, Pink Warrior 3 is going to be awesome. All right, next we have Ranger Suit. This is on the counter part. So before and after. So this is the one part where it would heal on CC effects and stuff like that. Now it changed to, instead of being controlled, to debuff. We'll read it here in a second. So one ranger in team, including the owner's controlled owner, recovers owner, yada yada yada, HP and adds on 1 count when the count reaches 4, 4, or 3, clears all control received and it resets the count. So that was kind of not really useful because there wasn't much CC in the meta, essentially. So, but then it went to this. After, whenever owner is afflicted by a debuff, recovers up to 250% of attack HP and gains 1 counter. When the number of counters reaches 3, clears all control effects received and removes all counters. This is actually really good. So with Rangers, on debuffs, if one Ranger gets hit 3 times and the other ones have a bunch of debuffs, it just clears them and heals them. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty huge. So I like that. That's really, really good, actually. So that's a good buff to the Ranger suit on the counter area. All right, last up we have Assassin suit on the agility part. Now, first, remember this is an extra added on to it. So the original agility, I believe, is it adds speed to your girls. So now, and also with the speed it will increase owner's crit damage by up to 6% for up to 3 rounds. So, of course, that's pink level 3 with up on the 6% in the 3 rounds. So, I believe it's when it attacks, right? So this could be helpful maybe to if assassins ever become, if we get into a burst meta and let's say we get an assassin and she just overly does a crap load of damage, like let's say Angelica does, or other girls in the past. I'm trying to remember. Like E-Saint did, right? This could help boost it. So whenever our assassin attacks, we could potentially increase that really quickly, I guess you'd say. So I don't know. It's a nice buff to the assassin suit, but it's still not really useful because assassins aren't really useful. So we're just gonna have to wait and see in the future how this works out. I mean, you could put it on Blair, let's say, for PvE content stuff, but not many people are trying to just build pink sets for PvE. So if there is somebody, please let me know. I'd like to see how it worked out for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you in this video. It's pretty much we're just covering the skill adjustments, but if you have more questions about them, please ask in the Discord. It'd be the best place to do. I don't usually look on the comments of YouTube, and when I do, I don't always usually see everyone. So I try to see them, but it's best to just message on the Discord questions because there's more people to help answer your questions because sometimes I'm at work, so I can't always answer everything. But I'd like to hear what you think about these adjustments. Just let me know what you think. I think they're doing better on the adjustments, trying to make things better. They could do a little bit better, but I can see why they don't want to do too over much because then it could just change things too drastically. But I do think Sky instead of precision, it should say attack. Then people that have saved Skies, it would be useful and it'd be great. So just saying on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you today. Remember, stay safe out there. It's a crazy world, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.